Rise, man.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Star Wars Meg, here to give you another Mandalorian Season 2 update and to provide you with all of the news from a galaxy far, far away. Before we get started though guys, you know how it goes. Please may I ask you to hit like down below, to subscribe if you're new, and also hit the notification bell to be alerted every time I upload new content. You can expect daily Star Wars videos from me, and without much jibber jabber, let's get to our first news article. So we start with news about Boba Fett, and this one is from Screen Rant, and they state a recent trailer for The Mandalorian Season 2 helps to debunk an old fan theory that the skull symbol on Boba Fett's armor is that of a bantha, confirming, as has always been the case, that it's meant to be a mythosaur skull. Despite having a very minor role in the original trilogy, Boba Fett has since become a fan favourite character, almost completely off the back of his own, now iconic design. The trailer features a brief glimpse of a bantha skeleton, including its skull, sat amid the desert sands of a far-flung Tatooine, indirectly confirming for those in any doubt that the symbol on Boba Fett's armor is a mythosaur skull. While both species have horns, the placement and size of said horns are very different, with banthas sporting thick spiraled horns on the top of their heads compared to the mythosaur's spikier cheek-centric protrusions. It's pretty much all been confirmed now that Temuera Morrison will be playing the character, and I'm super hyped. And you know, we're 6 days away from The Mandalorian Season 2, and whenever he comes up on screen, it's going to be a great moment for the whole fandom. The Screen Rant article goes on to state Boba Fett's adoption of the mythosaur skull as a symbol actually makes a lot of sense given the mythosaur's place in Mandalorian culture. First mentioned as part of the revised canon in The Mandalorian Season 1, Kuiil refers to the species when scolding the titular character, proclaiming, "Your ancestors rode the great mythosaur," after the Mandalorian, played by Pedro Pascal, struggles to tame a blurg. A symbol of lost glory, presumed extinct, mythosaurs have yet to be seen in the flesh, though their skulls have appeared regularly. That said, with Disney keen to expand their revised canon, it's only a matter of time before a mythosaur-appropriate era begins to be explored, though it's unlikely that this will occur in the show. So now let us move on to an article from Comic Book Movie, and this one is about the villain Burg that we saw in Season 1. The Mandalorian, Clancy Brown, addresses a potential return as the villainous Burg in Season 2. Clancy Brown had a memorable role in Season 1, but could he and his fellow criminals make a return to The Mandalorian? He simply states, "Nobody has talked to me, so probably not." A very direct response, but since we're getting the myth roll, a lot of people have been wondering which other characters from Season 1 will make a return, and I guess it's been confirmed that Burg will not be making an appearance. I thought he was a really badass character, so we'll see if Season 3 has something for him, but he won't be returning in this upcoming season. But not to worry, we have so many really cool characters to look forward to. And I'm sure the creativity of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau will allow for more aliens and more awesome villains to appear as well. And speaking of anticipated characters, before we get to a proper news article, let's read one from Inverse, because they've asked 1,400 Star Wars fans which characters they would like to be revealed in Mandalorian Season 2. So before I talk about these, let's do a little social experiment. I want you to comment down below the one character that you are most looking forward to seeing in Season 2, and we can tally them up. And you know, tomorrow in tomorrow's update, I will tell you, the most popular one. But these are the 6 that came up in the 1,400 Star Wars fans they asked. The first one is Anakin Skywalker's Force Ghost. Then we have Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now this one makes a little bit more sense than Anakin's Force Ghost, and I did do a theory on my channel about why I think it's possible Grand Admiral Thrawn could explain Baby Yoda's origins. Next we have Luke Skywalker, and obviously that's been a very rumoured appearance. Then we have Han Solo, and this one states, as adorable as Baby Yoda is, he doesn't fill the wisecracking sidekick role as much as Han Solo did in his time with the Rebellion. Inverse readers wanted to see him run into Mando on his adventures, even though this is very unlikely. Now I agree with that last statement. I don't think we're going to be getting Han Solo, and even if we did, it would be played by Alden Ehrenreich rather than Harrison Ford age-wise. Next we have Boba Fett, and finally Ahsoka Tano. These two are obviously probably the most anticipated from what I've read, but I am super interested to hear what you guys have to say on the matter. Who do you want to see most in The Mandalorian Season 2? Let's move on now to an article from CBR, and I mentioned Grand Admiral Thrawn a second ago. Well, they have an article which is really interesting, and it says why Star Wars' Chiss Skywalkers should appear in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. So they write, there are many parallels between Mando and Chiss, so the series is already set up perfectly if it were to feature a cameo. So far, the trailer has revealed a water world that looks a lot like Kamino or Mon Cala. It's also shown one that is the spitting image of Ilum, the planet which would become the future Starkiller base. Ilum is technically in the unknown regions close to the chaos that hosts the Chiss Ascendancy, a region that is heavily surveyed and patrolled by the Chiss expansionary fleet. Now, on this note, by the way, I did a video yesterday which talked about why I don't think that ice planet is Ilum and how I think it is the home planet of Sabine Wren, so do go check that out if you're interested in that. They then go on to state, furthermore, the Chiss and the Mandalorians have very similar cultures. They are isolationist, martial, and structured around clans and families, extremely proud, pragmatic, and almost stripped off from the Force. Just like Mando is doing, they keep their Force-sensitive children as hidden and protected as they can. They are their most precious assets and one of the very few things that they would go to war for. Like I stated earlier in the video, I would love to see Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action form. It would go so well with The Mandalorian, and I think the arcs of Baby Yoda the child and Grand Admiral Thrawn could overlap really well. And so we move on to our final article, and this one is about John Boyega, and this is from Games Radar, and they have a really good piece which is titled John Boyega Reacts to Finn's Scrapped Star Wars 9 Arc. Now, as we know, he was done really dirty by Disney, so let's get into this. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker certainly underwent some pretty major changes before it was released in December, not least of all director J.J. Abrams being drafted in to replace Colin Trevorrow. That in turn led to a completely different direction for the end of the Skywalker saga. What was once Duel of Fates became something else entirely. That script included a very different arc for John Boyega's character of Finn. In a recent interview with Yahoo, Boyega was asked about that story seemingly being curtailed. Would he have preferred to go a different way instead of what we ended up with? He stated, "I do actually. I think Colin was going to tell that story. The concept art in the Star Wars book has the image of Finn with the blue flag and the AT-ATs, and they have them lined up in tribal marks, and the stormtroopers take off their helmets. That would have been awesome, that would have been dope," he states. Boyega, though, is open to a similar story being told further down the line in a galaxy far, far away, and he says, if they could do that type of story in TV, do all that kind of stuff, I'd love to watch it. He's absolutely right, and to be completely honest with you, I would love to see even a book which details Finn's arc in a much more expansive way. They had a really good idea there and they didn't go with what they could have done. So I've seen a lot of videos on the philosophy and the paradoxical side of stormtroopers who can think for themselves, and it makes us rethink the original trilogy, and it doesn't make us see stormtroopers as these inline uniformed conformist imperialists anymore. We actually see them as human beings in a way. And that in and of itself could set up a really cool story with a lot of themes that could affect the whole Star Wars universe as we know it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. That is all of the news I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a big fat like, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm Star Wars Meg, and I wish you a fantastic rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.